So even though he was kind and gave you a lot of all the above, still put a couple of bucks in the red bucket, right? Okay. Well, obviously one of our most popular speakers of the year is here today, judging from the crowd that we have. So we're grateful to have Leanne Williamson from the USD head volleyball coach with us today. So, Leanne?
I was kind of hoping for the slow clap. I liked that more. I do agree that there's a lot of people here today, so I'm very excited to be welcomed into your group once again, just to kind of share a little bit more about our program and the year to date. To start this year, though, I kind of have to go all the way back to January. We look at our season as really beginning at the beginning of the year. Okay, so our spring season is when we start preparing for winning championships and putting ourselves in the position to have as much success as we can in the fall. So they are lifting 4 days a week. We have practices throughout the spring. We play 4 different dates, and we challenge ourselves a lot as individuals. So our spring season is really when we work on a lot of our individual growth, whereas the fall is way more focused on obviously the team's success and making sure that we're as prepared as we can for opponents. With that though, we were blessed this year to be able to take our first foreign trip as a program. So we started that process about a year prior. We went in June, started that process, the planning process about a year prior to that, and we chose to go to Spain and Portugal this year. So left on, I think it was June 9th, we left Vermillion and then came back about 11 days later. We went to 3 different cities in Spain, 2 different cities in Portugal, and had honestly a wonderful time. Because we had never been on one, I didn't really know what to expect. And I will say it was a long time away from my family. It was a long time away from Vermillion and the comforts of this community. But the experiences that we were able to have with our program, with our team, teammates to teammates, coaches to coaches. We had some fans come along with us as well, and some parents. We had a group of, I think it was 58 within our travel party. So it was a very large group, and it could not have gone better. We were able to experience different cultures, try different food, explore different cities, and just have so many great opportunities to get to know our athletes, get to know our fans, our parents, and each other, that it was a massive benefit for our program. So very excited that we were able to take that trip. It is something that the NCAA mandated probably about a decade ago, if not a little bit longer, that a team can go every 4 years. So you cannot go more than that. So essentially every athlete will have an opportunity to go one time during their career here. And this, again, was our first time and something that we hope to build towards, again, being able to do 4 years from now. With that trip, though, we were actually also granted 10 days of training prior to leaving. So normally for volleyball, we do not have summer access. So summer access allows some coaches of certain sports to work with their athletes throughout those summer months. Volleyball is not one of those sports. So when our volleyball team is lifting, when they're conditioning, when they're practicing, when they're doing open gyms, they have to do all of that on their own without us coaches being present. I cannot watch them, I cannot check on them, I cannot see if they're doing things. That is all 100% voluntary. Most summers, our entire team is here doing those things anyway, which I think is a really good sign of the culture that we have within our program, that they want to put in the time, they want to put in their work on their own to be their best selves by the time August 7th, 8th comes around, when we're able to come in the gym with them. This year, we are granted the 10 days of training, so we could actually train them. We could tell them the verbiage. We could explain how we teach things. And if you can really think about the people that it impacts the most, it's our freshmen and our transfer student athletes. So we had, one of our freshmen graduated early, so she was here in the spring, and we had 1 transfer come in the spring, but then we had an additional 4 freshmen and 1 more transfer. So 5 of our 17 players were new to our program. So to have those additional 10 days of training with them is, it was great. It was something that I think put them in a much better position come the start of our fall season. So just wanted to talk about Spain and Portugal a little bit. Great memories, something that I think our team will remember for a very long time, and something that I know a lot of people helped to make happen. So something that we were very excited about. We also were able to start about a week earlier than what we normally do during preseason. The NCAA is a little crazy right now. They gave us that news about 3.5 weeks before we were supposed to report. So the way we approached it is we brought our team in about 4 days earlier to give an extra training block for ourselves, which added 3 days of practice, but it didn't take away some of that last weekend that they had planned with their family or friends. We didn't feel like that was fair. So started a little bit earlier, which honestly made us feel much better about the way we train. So a lot of times during preseason, we have unlimited hours. So if I wanted to, we could go 2 to 3 times a day, practice 2 to 3 times a day, which some of you guys are smiling, smirking, laughing. That is kind of how we feel. We do not want to do that. In the past, we have gone 2 times a day, but it is very specific with how many hours we're in the gym. Some coaches will go 3 3-hour practices, 2 3 to 4 hour practices. We don't feel like that's beneficial for our athletes. We feel like you're way more trying to just get through than you are able to train. So with the 3 additional days, we just did 1 practice a day, about 3 hours a day, and then they lifted or did yoga on some of those additional days as well. Physically, we thought we were in the best spot that we could have been going into our first couple weekends of play. I think mentally our athletes were in a better spot, and we still felt like we were able to get the training that we needed to be the best version of ourselves going into those first couple weekends. We're gonna kind of bounce around a little bit. Scheduling is something that I think a lot of people always have questions about. How do we plan our schedule? Why do we plan it the way we do? Some of it is based on home and homes. So getting people to Vermillion can be difficult. Getting teams to want to come and play us at home can be difficult. The ease of travel isn't great for a lot of people. A lot of times it's 2 flights, and I will tell you, we don't like the 2 flights, so we try to avoid that as often as possible. But we also win a lot at home. So there are a lot of teams that don't want to play us at home. However, this year, our conference schedule is a little bit tough in the fact that we are traveling almost every single week in some capacity until November. So, for example, last weekend we were up at North Dakota on Thursday, we played home on Saturday. This weekend we're at Denver, next weekend we're home on Thursday, on the road on Saturday. And that kind of keeps going until about November. I think we have 1 weekend where we're home the entire time. So with that, we felt like it was really important for us to host twice. 2 tournaments was going to be more of a necessity for us than any other year. So we did what we needed to, got a lot of teams to commit. We did have to pay some teams to come in. That's just the nature of scheduling at times, but hosting those 2 tournaments was really important to us. So we hosted 3 and 4, which meant we were on the road in weekends 1 and 2. We started out at Montana State. For people who may have been watching volleyball for a long time, Montana State coach Matt Hauk was here back when I first started in 2009. He was the original head coach that made the transition to Division I. I came in the 2nd year of the transition to Division I, was an assistant under Matt for 5 years, and then he moved on to Minnesota for about 9 years, and now he's at Montana State. So that was a return for us. It was a good weekend for us. We started with Oregon, which is a tough matchup to start with, but I think we learned a lot about ourselves and really got better throughout the weekend. So went 2 and 1 out there against Montana State, being the away team. It's always great to be able to learn how to play when you are not the host, because we are so used to our fans being incredible and helping us when we are at home. And then won another match out there to go 2 and 1. Went 2 and 1 again out at UConn, which was a cool experience. I've never been there. Most of our team had never been there. Beautiful campus. And it's always fun to just kind of see what other volleyball programs have, where they play, how they're treated. But that was a tournament that all 3 teams were in the top 75 RPI last year, so the rating system. So we knew that was going to be a tough tournament. We knew we could go anywhere from 3-0 to 0-3 or anywhere in between. And we found that in between mark at 2 and 1 once again. But lost a really close one to UConn, had some opportunities to extend it to 5, just couldn't quite pull it out, but their atmosphere was incredible. They actually play in their old hockey facility, so it is a tin box, and it is loud, 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 but another great experience for us. Then we came back home. Being at home is always a benefit, playing in front of our fans. The atmosphere that people here create is incredible. Multiple teams from that first weekend commented on that to our coaching staff of just how fortunate we are to have a fan base that truly cares about volleyball. And that is something that the longer I'm here, the more people ask me. I've already understood for a long time, but I think traveling to other places, it is reiterated of just how important that is for us and how blessed we are to have the support that we do here. Went 2-1 on weekend 3. You guys are sensing a theme at this point. Each week, we played Thursday, Friday, Saturday, with the exception of the first weekend where we played Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that first weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday is our off day because we can only go the 6 days a week. And then we practiced Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we played again Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So a really quick turnaround where we have to learn on the fly. And you think about wanting to get in the gym, wanting to practice, that doesn't change for us coaches, but we do have to manage the physicality of the game and understanding that we need our athletes to obviously be healthy as well. So we have to kind of learn through doing, through those first couple weekends of non-conference play, and I felt like our team did that at a pretty high level, considering some of the youth that we have within our program again. Going into the fourth weekend, we once again went 2-1, which puts our overall record at 8-4 in the non-conference season. So we felt really good with where we were at in terms of the teams that we competed against, the teams that we did end up falling short against. I believe those teams are going to win a lot of matches, and that will help our RPI as we continue through the season. But putting that schedule together, we knew that there was a very strong chance too that we could have lost more of those matches because that's how tough our schedule was. But for us, playing really tough competition is important to being our best selves, okay? Bad teams don't show us what we're not good at. Bad teams are not going to allow us to learn enough through failure, which we very much believe in as a program. So when we put that schedule together, we knew it was going to be tough. We knew we were going to fail occasionally. We were hoping, crossing our fingers sometimes as coaches, that more of the learning we were able to do through wins, which we were. So with that, kind of that break in the season then after that preseason, starting our non-conference season. Made the trip up to Grand Forks last Thursday and lost a tight match against them in 4. Not a good loss for us, if I'm being honest. I think I can keep that secret in this room, right? Our team knows that. We are very open with them about understanding what each match means and how that impacts us. It wasn't a good loss. There are good losses. That was not one of them. But what I will say is this team responded extremely well. And one thing that this is my 17th year. I didn't start with that. I apologize, but this is my 17th year. So being here for as long as I have, one of the things that I am the most proud of this program is our responses to things that don't go well. Okay, some of our best wins have come after some of our worst losses. And that's going back in history of just, back to my first couple years of being a head coach. And I think that means a lot beyond sport. We all want to win. The wins are ultimately what we're working towards, but there's so much more to that. And there's a lot of life lessons that are involved in that. And I think our team has very much bought into that mindset. So something I was very proud of. And then Saturday, a very clean win against Oral Roberts. The final set against that one was 25-8. I don't care what the team is, it's very hard to beat a team by that much. So I will say that we got better as the match went on, and something that we still had some things that we weren't great at. They responded very well in the second set for people that were there. Let them come back in a little bit, got on them a little bit in that timeout, and they responded again very, very well. So we feel good with where we're moving. We feel good with what we've learned about our team, but there are so many more things to accomplish with this group. I think they are talented enough to win a championship. but I feel that every year, it's just how do the cards fall? How do we handle the pressure? How do we handle being the away team in certain environments? How do we handle maybe not playing our best? How do we use our depth? Because I do feel like we have a very tight group right now and a very deep group that a lot of people can impact our team, can impact winning and losing. So we've made the change at a couple positions when needed. Some of those people that have come in have been a spark, have helped us win some of those matches, and that's something that we plan to continue to do because we truly believe that the depth of this team is what can make us special. Just a couple stats that I just wanted to throw out there. League leading, and I say that a little bit of a caveat, but I didn't look at league-only stats because we're only 2 matches in, but program-wide or league-wide over the course of this season, so through the first 4 weekends and then our first weekend of conference play, we lead the league in digs per set. So defensively, we are a very good team. That is something that I believe is a strength of ours. We have multiple DSs on our team, defensive specialists on our team that I think would be a libero at a lot of other schools, okay? And we have 3 of them on the floor at the same time, if not 4 at times. So that is a huge benefit for us. Our setter plays really good defense. Our outsides play really good defense. And it's something that we've kind of always been known for, but we are leading the league, and I want to say we're in the top 5 or 10 for digs per set. I didn't look after this past weekend, but we were in the top 10 in the country last week. So something that we are very proud of, something that I think people will notice if they come to watch us play. On the flip side, and this is where the stats are more fun, we are also second in the league in points per set and kills per set. Okay, so there have been years that we have won matches through our defense. There have been years where we have won matches with our offense. I feel like this is the year that we have a very good balance of both of them, which is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun as a coach. It's very exciting to think about what the possibilities could be there as a team of being able to be dominant on both sides of things. Now, we have had our shares of ups and downs on the offensive end of it, but we have the ability to be there, and over the course of this season, we have shown that we are still towards the top of the league. So a really good place to be right now. I'm not a big stats person, even though I just gave you 3 stats. I'm not a big stats person. I truly believe that knowing the game as a whole is really important. Explaining and teaching the why of the game is very important. And I feel like our staff does a very good job of getting a feel for what's happening and being able to dictate that without seeing all the numbers. Some people are numbers people. I do like numbers, just not necessarily when it comes to some of the game stuff. All right, shifting gears a little bit. My staff. For people, I think Michael came a couple years ago, but Michael Rundy's been with me for quite a long time. He is going on year 12 with me. He was here for a couple years as a GA, took a hiatus for about 9 months. I got him back and got him to stay. So he's going on year 12. Abby Hall is going on year 3. She's in her 3rd year. She also just had a super cute baby in May. So he's been able to travel with us a couple weekends. It's kind of nice to see our players kind of in that situation as well, and to be able to have them see us in a different light than always just coach player. So that's been really endearing in a lot of ways. And then Barrett Power was a player for us last season. And she actually moved out of Vermillion. I want to say it was like December 20 something. And then we got her to come back to Vermillion on February 1st. So, of course, she lost her lease. She had to find a new apartment. But she is back in Vermillion and loving being a part of the staff. So I've got a great group to work with. I have a great group that I think balances each other out very, very well. Some of us might be a little bit more high-strung. Some of us are a little bit more of the even-keeled. But I think it's really important to have that balance. Of being able to really make sure that we are also presenting our best selves every day. Recruiting, I cannot comment on people. Jaren, you heard me say that. I cannot comment on our recruiting class yet because it is not public yet. However, in November, it will become public. We've got 2 in this upcoming class. Both are very, very good players that have the ability to make an impact right away. We want to continue to think about out-recruiting our last class. So We are usually recruiting about 2 years out. We cannot talk to them until after their sophomore year. So we are recruiting a class, trying to out-recruit a class that hasn't even stepped on campus yet. Okay? Crazy world we live in. However, I do feel like these classes, we are in a really good spot. We continue to find people that want to be a part of something special, that want to be a part of a community like Vermillion, and a part of a university that truly supports volleyball in its entirety. And then we do have 5 in the following class, a little bit of a bigger class for us. Once again, I cannot comment on them yet, but if you look at social media, you might be able to put some pieces together. So a really good group there as well. And then we will start recruiting that next class, June 15th of this upcoming summer. So we have a little bit of a break, if you want to call it that, until we are able to start contacting that next class. And then that usually goes pretty quickly, where we have people, our goal is to get people committed probably within 2-ish months. It's crazy when I say that out loud. Academics, you guys know, I will continue to talk about academics. I will continue to make academics a priority. Our athletes have been incredible in the classroom. When you think about student athletes, I do believe that the volleyball team does a very good job of being at the forefront of really showcasing what that means. Although I will tell you the one negative of it. This year, we lost out on the department-wide highest GPA by .001. I am a numbers person when it comes to that. I will tell you, our team was very bummed too. I didn't think they were going to be that upset, but they were mad. They thought it should have been a tie. I said, we don't like ties. It's okay. But we are working hard to get that back this year. So we had over a 3.7 cumulative GPA as a team. The women's basketball team was just that .001 higher than us. But kudos to them for having obviously such a great year as well. So academics continues to be a huge part of our recruiting. It continues to be a huge part of our program. I'm sure people who have listened to me talk before have heard me use the phrase culture of success. But within our program, that essentially means being the best version of yourself in every area of your life. So whether you're a student, whether you're a volleyball player in that moment, whether you're a teammate, friend, son, daughter, teammate, girlfriend, whatever it may be, we want to encourage them and push them to being their best selves. So that is something that we are working towards every single day, and I think our team has done a fantastic job of that. Moving forward, we have off tomorrow. We do not play on Thursday night. This is our bye week. So we will leave on Friday and head out to Denver for a quick 36-hour trip. We will play Denver on Saturday early afternoon, and then we will come back here late Saturday night, hopefully when all the D-Day stuff wraps up. Looking forward to that match. Denver's a great team, always have been, always gives us a great opportunity to compete at a really high level, especially out there. Looking forward to seeing how our team responds in that scenario. Next week, we are home on Thursday. It is our annual Pink Night with breast cancer awareness going on in October. So if you are around and would like to come out, wear pink and show up on Thursday. Saturday, we are on the road, so don't come on Saturday. And then we'll be on the road again on Saturday. So check our schedule. We're all over the place, but we are very excited for this season, for this conference season. It's a tough year. A lot of teams could do very well within the conference. I think the top 2/3 all have a chance to be at the top. So it's going to be a year where every single night counts, as we certainly found out on Thursday. Not salty. Wanted to give you the opportunity to ask a couple questions before time expires. Yep.
So it's really fun to see how much trust you must have in your players and your coaches when it comes to challenges and willingness to pull that green card. My question is a little bit more quick. When did Michael Rundy get so good at calling really random challenges?
I don't know. Last year in the conference tournament against Omaha, when we were up by 1 and on the first swing, Omaha was in the net. Nobody saw it except for him, and we won the game on it. So I will take it. I will tell you, he only acts that way when he is confident. He does not like making the decision to challenge if he is not sure. So yeah, he does. He sees some very random things, and we're still wrong sometimes, but I think more often than not, we're not challenging unless we're pretty confident that we're going to win that. Yes?
As volleyball has become more popular, and you've seen, you go to the various schools in the summer league, where have you seen the growth in the audience or the spectators in terms of their enthusiasm, and where do you most would like not to play?
There's no video cameras on right now, right? I think that the growth of volleyball overall you've seen in most places. There are a couple league schools that I do not think support volleyball the way that that we do, or the way that a lot of people in the country do. But for the most part, home court advantages are a real thing in the Summit League. The place that has grown the most is South Dakota State, and it is probably also the place I least like to play. But I've been saying this for years, and I will continue to say it, is volleyball being good, volleyball being competitive across the board is good for the league. It's good for the league, it's good for us, it is good for postseason play. So we, right now, I believe we have 4 teams in the top 100 RPI. We haven't had that in years. Years and years and years. So that is a good thing for the league. It just makes each match a little bit harder. But yes, volleyball has grown. I think the North Dakotas, I think St. Thomas has grown. SDSU, Omaha, I mean, those schools have definitely made volleyball a little bit more of a priority. And then again, there are a couple that I don't think support it the same way. Yeah. Chuck, did you have a question?
Yeah, I noticed in your tournament that it appeared that a couple of the teams had more than one libero.
Yes.
Is that possible?
Yes. 2 years ago, you can have 2 liberos now. Some people choose to use it. I think the area that you'll see it the most is you have a libero that maybe is really, really good at passing, but not great at defense. And then you have another libero that's really, really good at defense, but struggles in the serve-receive aspect. So then they may use those 2 liberos interchangeably, because you can't be on the court at the same time, in order to maximize their skills. We don't use it, partly, you guys have watched, Cameron is why we don't use it. Cameron is very, very good. I think she has been the Defensive Player of the Year 5 times in the conference already this year. And we are 6 weeks in, or 5 weeks, no, 4 out of the 5, I think that's what it is. 4 out of the 5. So she's incredible. So we're not going to take her off of the floor to possibly utilize somebody else in that way. Would we use it in the future? Maybe, but defense has been such a staple for us that I would prefer to have a libero and that second best person on the court at the same time. And that's how we've chosen to use it, but I don't think others have that same philosophy. That's a great question. Yes?
You said your coaching staff ranges from tennis below key,
Yeah.
and then, okay, let's.
You want to know where I stand?
I know where you stand. The other question is high school volleyball on the rise is supplying you with a wonderful talent of ready-made athletes in high school to recruit from, and are they coming from 510 West, or are you doing cross-country?
Yes, yes. High school volleyball, club volleyball, getting better is absolutely preparing student athletes to come in here and have an opportunity to play right away. They are much more ready than maybe what others have been in the past. Most of our recruiting happens within the Midwest. I would say within an 8-hour radius is kind of how we've looked at it for the most part. We've had people beyond that. Most of the people who come from beyond that usually come to us via transfer. But there is such great volleyball in Minnesota, in Iowa, in Nebraska, in South Dakota, and a little bit into Colorado and Kansas that we'll recruit from, that we don't have to go beyond that. And what we have found is people stay when their families are able to be involved, when they feel that sense of community. So if we can get people here from 2 hours away and their parents can be at every single match, that benefits us and their experience here. Yes?
The Homes of Future Child is going to bring in children,
Yes.
Middle school kids to USD and SDSU. Can you talk about maybe the impact that you've seen some of those middle school kids come in and experiencing volleyball for the first time?
Yeah, I mean, I think like anybody, experiencing volleyball for maybe the first time or at least this level is just eye-opening for a lot of people of just kind of what's out there and the opportunities that might be present. You are right, I have worked with those groups, I have spoken to those groups, and I think just the excitement of being here and seeing the college campus and the facilities and getting to meet maybe some of the athletes and the Coyote Crazies and coaches, I think it just creates that vision, of what could be and maybe what they're working towards. So I think they're great programs. I'm glad that we continue to work with them. I'm sure we will continue as we move forward. But we see it all the time, even again within our simple community in Vermillion too, of these middle schoolers, these grade schoolers that get to work with number 8 who was on the volleyball team, at a clinic afterwards, or they get to see this person who was defensive player of the year and they get to work with them and talk to them and get a picture with them. It's amazing how much of an impact it seems like that makes to them. I remember being little and being in awe of some of those people, and I think our student athletes are great role models for groups like that and groups around our community and beyond.
On that note, do you find that your camps are really able to bring in well-qualified girls who eventually join your program?
Yes, our camps have grown tremendously since I've been here. When I started in 2009, I actually moved here, I think it was like July 9th, and we canceled all of our camps after I moved here because we didn't have the numbers. We grew a little bit over my time here, and then honestly when Michael came in and took over the camp side of things is when we saw it grow a ton. So he's done a remarkable job of the marketing and getting people here, but also giving them a good experience where they want to come back. Kate Weigel is on our team right now. She's a freshman. She's from Sioux Falls. She actually started coming to camps when she was probably 10 or 11 years old. We still remember her coming in and working with us, and she was shy and nervous and wouldn't talk to us, and now she's a Coyote, right? So yes, we have seen that, and we hope that we continue to see that over the course of our time here. But those camps are great. It just gives them such a good experience and an introduction to what Coyote volleyball is all about with us as coaches and our team, because they get to spend a lot of time with our current student athletes. Maybe time for one more before I get yelled at. Yes?
Do most of those girls also play club sports in addition to high school?
Most of the people that we are recruiting at this point, and most of the people that we are recruiting are playing club. A lot of the people that come to camps are also playing club. That is not a steadfast rule. There are a lot of people that are coming as an introduction to volleyball that maybe haven't played a lot of volleyball, so we definitely have a range of skill level when they come in. But that club scene, especially in South Dakota, has grown tremendously even just in the last decade. With Kairos and Pentagon and Sanford Coyote, or the Sanford team up there, and then there's some out in Rapid City, there's some in Mitchell, there's some in Watertown. They just continue to get bigger and give more young women the opportunity to play club sports. So I think it's great. I think club basketball was a thing for so long, and now volleyball has really caught up, if not surpassed basketball in some capacity as well. All right, well, thank you so much.
You jumped down too quick.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Now the 50-50 drawing, it's always nice to have somebody impartial.
Jeanette Lawrence.
No substitutes allowed. All right. Thank you. Appreciate our visitors coming today, Julian.